Leslie Cornwell, Midwifery Business Consultation. The next section I'm going to talk about with marketing has to do with SEO, search engine optimization. I have no background in online technology. I'm a little bit illiterate, even though I grew up with a lot of technology. So search engine optimization to me is a really confusing, complex system. I've tried to learn all the rules. The rules change all the time. Every search engine has its own rules. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, it's tough to keep yourself higher on rankings when someone is looking for you. So search engine optimization is important because you want your website to be towards the top. If somebody's looking for a midwife, a birth center in your area, you want to be top on the list. The lower you are on the list, the less likely someone is to find you. How do you get yourself on that list? There's many factors that will come into play. It's this extensive algorithm that changes all the time. So I really stress hiring a SEO expert, a marketing expert with online presence to help increase your SEO optimization. There's things you can do that are simple. Having consistent, the littlest things, your address. If you're putting in the word street, but then you're using ST on other things, that affects your search engine optimization. So making consistency. If you're going to say your name, any website, any advertising material, any article, you're going to say it the same way. So if you say Leslie Cornwell CNM, you don't say Leslie Cornwell Certified Nurse Midwife somewhere else, because they're not, the computer doesn't know they mean the same thing. So the more consistency you can use in your words, the repetitiveness. So you want your website not just to say midwife, 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 birth center, birth center. You want to creatively make articles repetitive things so it doesn't look like you're just trying to push certain words on your website. That will help for your website to be found. If you start a website yesterday versus it's been there 2 years, Google has part of its analytics that its credibility is higher the longer you've been around. So it takes time. There's organic, there's inorganic growth of your website. And it's not just your website. Any articles, any side exposure, if someone is linking their website to your website, you've got a Facebook account, you've got other avenues that your birth center is being marketed on the internet that will help. Having the blogs and the articles and the content is a great way to get your SEO higher, not just putting a website up with your name, your team, and your location, but having that repetitive exposure with the words, the expertise of what you're trying to get across on the internet will help. And it constantly changes. Like, you can talk to all the experts and they're not going to be able to tell you, you need to do this to get ranked to the top. There's things you can do to make yourself a higher chance, and there's things you can do to lower it. So updating your content all the time. If you don't do anything to touch your website for 6 months to a year, your ranking's going to go down. You want to constantly be adding content, updating things. The internet knows how often you're in the backdrops, changing your website, keeping it current, up to date. It affects that algorithm. So there's three main ways for search engine optimization. It's an extensive topic. I don't anticipate most midwives are going to want to learn about it. Just want to stress the importance of it on the internet. So I put a lot of content in this section. You can choose to read it, but I typically will hire someone that's an expert to help me with tweaking and adjusting my website, my content, anything online, so that it will improve the SEO. So the biggest things is just making sure that your website name, the words you're using, the focus. Sometimes there's an expert you can even get with, and they say, these are the things I want people, the services to find me for: water birth, birth center, midwife, this community radius. So if they're going to search the town across the street or 2-hour radius, you want to be able to be found. So there's certain things that need to be done in the backdrops. The other thing with search engine optimization is making sure your pictures, it blows my mind, like the encryptions and the backdrops of your pictures, hashtags, all these things make a world of difference of your online presence. It's a very complex system. And so with SEO, I just stress to midwives, unless you have a background in marketing, this is why we hire an expert in this field. You don't want to waste the time learning SEO when you can get an expert to get you at the top. If you want them to find you birth center, cost-effective care, pregnancy, midwife, you want to be top on the list, and it takes time to make that happen. See you in the next section.